Can you tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Sarah and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
What brought you out here today?
I'm out here today to protest that President Donald Trump. We do not need his hate here in this city.
Can you tell me why you support President Bernie Sanders? Senator Bernie Sanders for president.
Senator Bernie Sanders for president because he cares about everyday people, about students, immigrants, working people, black, white, Asian, Pacific Islander, Native American, lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual. It doesn't matter what color you are, what language you speak. We're here to support all Americans.
Just because this is Bernie's second time around campaigning for the presidency, can I ask you, what were your feelings? What were your observations in 2016? Were you campaigning for him back then as well?
I was campaigning for Bernie Sanders in 2016, but when he did not win the nomination, I voted with the Green Party, although I consider myself an independent because Hillary Clinton is also a crook.
We completely agree on that. I voted for Jill Stein in California in 2016.
I voted for Jill Stein in New Jersey, and now I'm a resident of Arizona.
That's pretty awesome. Can you tell us what is a policy that Donald Trump, what is something that Donald Trump has done that you do not agree with, that you don't support?
I completely disagree with his immigration policy. I think that this is America. The American dream is a real thing, and we should not discriminate people based on where they come from, but what they have to offer, and not just say no to people because of their race or where they're coming from, but what they have to offer to this country.
What is a policy or something that Donald Trump has done that you do support, that you do agree with?
The only thing that I can possibly think of is that he recently signed an animal cruelty bill into law, and that's the only thing I can think of that I support.
If you were to have lunch with President Trump tomorrow, what is a policy or something that you would ask him to do?
My primary issue that affects me the most is student loan debt. And I think education is so important for the economy, for the growth and development of this nation, from preschool to secondary to college education. It needs to be more affordable, and it will boost the economy if thousands of us aren't thousands of dollars in debt. And I just really, we need education reform desperately.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
As a quick follow-up, and
Sure.
And I'm actually curious to get into your thoughts on strategy going forward, right? And that's why I sort of left the first part of the interview there, so that way at the end you can decide whether you want your thoughts,
Sure.
right, on this afterwards. So I'm curious to ask you how you view the race so far, right? Because we saw what happened, what the Democratic establishment, what the DNC did to Bernie Sanders in 2016. And we're also seeing what's happened so far in the race this year. We saw what happened in Iowa. We saw what happened in New Hampshire. So I'm curious as to your thoughts about what Bernie is up against this time around. And do you think Bernie Sanders has the strength to take on the Democratic establishment before he can even take on Trump? That's the way that I see it.
Great question, and thank you for asking. But what we need to be worried about is the pharmaceutical industry, the fossil fuel industry, climate change, discrimination, and institutional racism. There are so many other things to focus on besides just beating Donald Trump, and I don't think that many of the other candidates are as strong, and their primary focus is just to beat Donald Trump, like Michael Bloomberg, for example. But Bernie really has
mentioned Bloomberg, and this ties into part of the Democratic base who are very much vote blue no matter who. Any blue will do. What is your message to those voters who, many of whom do not want to support Bernie Sanders? We saw Hillary Clinton recently asked if Bernie Sanders becomes the nominee, will you support him? And her answer was
Nobody likes him.
yeah, right. And her answer was we haven't gotten there yet. As in, she did not want to answer the question.
Okay, well, I understand where that question is coming from, and I think that Michael Bloomberg is all about his money, and Hillary Clinton is all about her money. And I think that Bernie Sanders knows where we need to take this country. And I am a registered independent voter. I do not align with the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Only have I changed my alignment to vote in the Arizona primary because it is a closed primary state, which is also kind of it's voter exile, if you ask me. But I think that's why I'm an independent person, because I don't think it matters what party you are with. It matters what to support someone that you believe in, and that's why I did not vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Trump recently tweeted that Bloomberg and his allies in the Democratic establishment are attempting to steal away the nomination for Bernie again. If that happens, do you think Trump is someone who could be negotiated with, and afterwards have Bernie Sanders run again in 2024? Because I remember in 2016 we went to a rally of his in Las Vegas, and we were waiting for him after the rally, and we were wondering, where is he? And one of his staffers walked by and said, he's running laps in the gym. As in, like, he's a really healthy guy. So I think even if he were to be screwed over again, he could still run in 2024. But yeah, basically, if the Democratic establishment does what they did again in 2016, do you see yourself aligning with the people who say vote blue no matter who, or would you follow through with what you did last time, which is vote third party?
Well, first I could say that our political establishment is corrupt. It's racist. It's sexist, and it does not have the heart of the American people in mind. And yes, I think, and it's doctors agree that Bernie Sanders is a very healthy man. He absolutely could run for president again in 2024, but we don't have time to waste. Climate change is not going to wait. Student loan debt is not going to wait. Immigration reform is not going to wait. It's all going to pile up and pile up and pile up. And if we don't act now, I don't even want to think about a world that I'm going to be in 2024, let alone now. And I think that Michael Bloomberg he's an insult to the Democratic establishment, because he has barely any support. He's funding his own campaign. Unlike Bernie Sanders, I believe that he has somewhere around $7 million, and the average donation is $18 a person, which I am one of. I donate to the Sanders campaign monthly because I have to fight for what I believe in, and I just don't support billionaires. And even today, I heard on the news, Bloomberg is going to throw his money behind whoever wins the nomination if it's not him. And Bernie Sanders refused to answer if he would take Bloomberg's money. He did not say he would take Bloomberg's money, because this is a grassroots campaign. It's from the working people. It's from people like me. And we want change in this country.
On behalf of the American people, I just want to thank you for fighting for what you believe in, and not just participating in democracy, but attempting to shape where the human species goes from here?
Well, I'm an anthropologist, so it's all about humanity at the end of the day. And if we don't fix climate change, say goodbye to humanity.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.